I clutched my purse as I stepped into the glowing restaurant. The chandelier above sparkled like frozen stars, and every table seemed too polished for me. My heels clicked nervously against the marble floor. "Mom, over here," Daniel waved. His voice was soft, almost careful, like he was afraid I'd embarrass him before I even sat down. I smiled, hiding my nerves. "You look handsome tonight." "Thanks," he muttered, pulling out a chair. "Please just try to keep things simple." I froze. "Simple? What do you mean?" Before he could answer, Emily leaned in. Her lips curled in a polite smile, but her eyes cut sharp. "She means don't talk too much, Daniel." Her parents chuckled under their breath, glancing at my old dress as if it had insulted them. I sat down slowly, ignoring the heat rising to my cheeks. "It's nice to finally meet you all. Daniel has told me." Emily interrupted, her tone icy. "Daniel exaggerates sometimes. We prefer honesty." Her mother lifted her wine glass. "Yes, honesty keeps families respectable." I nodded, gripping the edge of my chair. "I raised Daniel alone. It wasn't easy, but Emily's father cut me off." "Ah, single mothers. That explains why Daniel is so desperate to climb." My heart thudded. I looked at my son. He stared at his plate, silent. "Daniel," I whispered. He didn't look up. Emily leaned closer, her voice dripping with contempt. "You don't fit the status of my family. Leave." The words sliced through me. The restaurant seemed to fall silent, though laughter bubbled faintly from another table. I blinked. What did you say?" "You heard me." She tilted her chin high. "This is not your world. My family has standards and you," she glanced at my faded dress, my tired hands. "You're a distraction we don't need." My chest tightened. "I am his mother. I raised him when no one else." Emily smirked. "Raised him? You gave him nothing but shame. Do you see this place? Do you see us? Do you belong here?" Her mother whispered, "Emily, maybe not here," but her lips curled too, hiding a cruel smile. I turned to Daniel, begging silently. "Daniel, say something." His jaw clenched. He shifted uncomfortably, but no words came. His silence was louder than Emily's insult. Tears pricked my eyes. "You won't defend me?" He finally spoke, his voice low. "Mom, please don't make a scene." The ground beneath me seemed to vanish. I gripped the table to steady myself. "A scene?" "She told me to leave." Emily's father waved dismissively. "It's better for everyone." Emily smiled sweetly, her victory glowing on her face. "Yes, better." I stood up slowly, my knees trembling. My voice cracked as I whispered, "After everything I sacrificed, you can sit there and let them treat me like dirt?" Daniel looked away. The silence between us felt final. I turned, pushing back the chair. It screeched against the floor, echoing through the restaurant. Heads turned, strangers stared, but I didn't care anymore. As I walked past, I heard Emily's whisper. "Good riddance." Her parents chuckled again, muffled behind expensive glasses of wine. Outside, the cool night air hit me like a slap. I gripped my purse tighter, swallowing sobs that clawed at my throat. The neon sign of the restaurant glowed above me, mocking me with its brightness. I muttered to myself, "I worked 2 jobs. I gave him everything, and this is what I get." My phone buzzed. Daniel's name lit the screen. I answered shakily. "Yes." His voice was stiff. "Mom, I'm sorry. You don't understand how things work here." My tears spilled. "How things work? You let your wife tell me I don't belong. You let them laugh at me." "Please," he whispered, "don't make it harder. Emily's family, they're powerful. I have to keep peace." "Peace." My voice cracked. "At the cost of your mother?" He sighed, weary. "Mom, please try to understand. It's complicated." I stared at the dark street, my heart crumbling. "No, Daniel. It's simple. You chose them." "Mom," his voice wavered, but I hung up. The phone slipped back into my purse. My hands shook. The night stretched empty before me, each step heavier than the last. I whispered into the darkness, "I lost my son tonight." The city lights blurred as tears filled my eyes. My reflection in a shop window stared back, tired, broken, humiliated. I barely recognized the woman looking at me. I muttered, maybe I never belonged anywhere. But deep inside, under the shame and hurt, a small voice whispered, One day they'll regret this. I wiped my tears, straightened my shoulders, and walked into the night alone. I sat on the edge of my bed, clutching my pillow like it could hold me together. The night pressed heavy against the windows, but sleep refused to come. My phone buzzed once, then went quiet. I whispered into the darkness, "Why, Daniel? Why couldn't you defend me?" The silence answered louder than anything. The phone buzzed again. Daniel's name glowed. My chest tightened. I let it ring, but finally I picked up. "Mom." His voice was hesitant. I swallowed hard. "What do you want?" He paused. I wanted to check on you." "Check on me?" My voice broke. After sitting there like a coward while she told me to leave? "Mom, please. Don't say it like that." "How else should I say it, Daniel? Your wife told me I wasn't good enough. And you," my throat burned, "you agreed with your silence." He exhaled sharply. "It's not that simple. It was simple enough for you to stay quiet." "Emily's parents were there," he argued. "I couldn't embarrass her in front of them." I laughed bitterly, the sound hollow. "So, it's better to embarrass me? Your mother? The one who gave up everything so you could stand in that restaurant at all." "Mom, don't bring that up." I snapped. "Don't bring it up? You think you'd even know Emily if I hadn't worked day and night to pay for your schooling? If I hadn't eaten stale bread so you could have books?" His silence pressed through the line. I whispered, "Say something, Daniel. Say anything." But he stayed quiet. My tears spilled. "That's what I thought." "I didn't mean to hurt you," he muttered finally. "But you did." My voice trembled. "You shattered me. Please just give it time. Emily will warm up to you." "She told me to leave like I was trash," I shot back. "Do you think time will wash that away?" "Mom, I can't fight her battles and mine. You don't understand what I'm dealing with." "No," I whispered, "you don't understand what you've done to me." The line went quiet again. I hung up, unable to hear his excuses anymore. I dropped the phone onto the bed and buried my face in my hands. My sobs filled the room, raw and broken. "God, I gave him everything," I whispered into my pillow. "And he chose them." I remembered nights when Daniel was a child, tugging at my sleeve. "Mom, don't cry. One day I'll make you proud." The memory cut deep. I pressed my hand against my chest. "You promised me, Daniel." And now? A knock rattled the door. I jumped, wiping my eyes quickly. "Mrs. Harper?" a soft voice called. It was my neighbor, kind old Mrs. Harper. I cracked the door open. Her eyes softened when she saw my red face. "Oh dear, what's happened?" I shook my head. "Nothing. Just tired." She frowned. "I heard you crying. Don't tell me nothing. I've known you too long." I bit my lip. Daniel's wife, she humiliated me. Right in front of everyone. And he let her. Mrs. Harper's eyes widened. "That boy. He let her." I nodded, choking back more tears. She touched my arm gently. "You gave him everything. I watched you break your back for him." And he sat silent. "Yes." My voice cracked. Like I wasn't even his mother. Mrs. Harper shook her head slowly. "Pride makes young people blind. But blindness doesn't last forever." I swallowed. "Do you think he'll realize what he's done?" "Life has a way of teaching lessons," she said softly. "Sometimes harder than we'd wish." I wiped my eyes. "I don't want him to suffer. I just wanted respect." Mrs. Harper squeezed my hand. "You deserve it. Don't forget that." Her words gave me a tiny flicker of warmth, but the ache remained heavy in my chest. After she left, I sat back on the bed, staring at the ceiling. The shadows looked like cracks in my heart. I whispered, "How did my love become shame? How did I lose my son to silence?" The night stretched on, long and cruel. My tears finally slowed, leaving only exhaustion. I pulled the blanket over me, my body trembling. "I won't beg for his love," I told myself. "Not anymore." But even as I said it, the truth burned inside me. I still wanted him to come back. I still wanted my son to look at me and say, "You matter more than them." The room gave me no answer. Only my tears remained. I was watering the small plants outside my door when Mrs. Harper leaned over the fence. She whispered, "Did you hear? Emily was shouting at Daniel in the street last night." I blinked. "What? Shouting? About what?" Mrs. Harper shook her head. "Money. Always money. She called him useless. Everyone heard. My chest tightened. She humiliates him too? Yes, Mrs. Harper sighed. I almost felt sorry for him. Almost. I looked down at the soil dripping from the pot. He chose her over me. Now he tastes his choice. Mrs. Harper gave me a sad smile. Life's cracks always show. You just wait. That night I sorted through old bills when a knock came at the door. A man in a dark suit stood there. Mrs. Carter? He asked flatly. Yes. I'm Mr. Lewis from the bank. Your son Daniel listed this address for correspondence. He held out an envelope. He's behind on large payments. I froze. Payments? What payments? Loans, he said curtly. Serious loans. If he doesn't resolve them soon, consequences will follow. I took the envelope with trembling hands. I didn't know. Mr. Lewis adjusted his glasses. You may want to speak with him before things worsen. Then he left, leaving the night heavier than before. I sat on the couch, staring at the letter. The numbers inside screamed at me. Debt far larger than I could ever imagine. My phone buzzed again. Daniel's name. I answered, my voice shaking. Daniel, what have you done? Mom. His tone was tired. I just got a visit from the bank. They gave me your papers. He groaned. I told them not to bother you. Not to bother me? My voice rose. You're drowning in debt and you didn't think I should know? It's under control, he muttered. Under control? I snapped. Do you think I'm blind? These numbers would crush anyone. What are you doing, Daniel? He stayed silent. Answer me. Finally, he muttered. Emily wanted a bigger house. Her parents expected it. I couldn't say no. My chest ached. So you sold your soul for their approval? It's not that simple. It is that simple. I cried. You chose her pride over your peace. Over your future. He sighed. Mom, I can handle it. Just, don't tell anyone. Don't tell anyone? I whispered bitterly. You're already exposed. Mrs. Harper told me she heard Emily screaming at you in the street. His silence confirmed it. I pressed harder. Did she call you useless, Daniel? He breathed heavily. She was angry. It didn't mean anything. Didn't mean anything? I shook my head. You sat silent while she destroyed me and now you let her destroy you too. How long before there's nothing left of you? He snapped. Stop it, Mom. You don't understand. I understand more than you think, I said coldly. I understand pride. I understand betrayal. And I understand karma. One day she'll pay for this. Please, he whispered. Don't curse me like that. I'm not cursing you, Daniel. I'm warning you. The line went quiet. I stared again at the papers in my lap. These debts won't disappear. And Emily, she won't stand beside you when it matters. He muttered, almost broken, maybe you're right. Not maybe, I said firmly. I am right. And soon you'll see the truth yourself. I hung up before he could answer. My hands shook but my resolve hardened. The cracks had begun to show in Emily's perfect world. And this time I wouldn't be the one left broken. I was folding laundry when a knock came at the door. I hesitated, half expecting another bank officer, but when I opened it, Daniel stood there. His eyes were hollow, his suit wrinkled, his shoulders slumped. For the first time in years he looked small. Daniel. I whispered. Hi, Mom. His voice cracked. I stepped aside. Come in. He walked slowly, sinking into the old couch. His hands fidgeted against his knees. I sat across from him. You look exhausted. He laughed bitterly. Exhausted doesn't even begin to cover it. Emily? I asked. He stared at the floor. She's difficult. I folded my arms. Difficult? Or cruel? He didn't answer. Daniel, look at me. He finally lifted his eyes, glassy and red. I feel trapped, Mom. The words hit me harder than any insult. Trapped. I repeated. He nodded. I can't breathe in that house. Nothing I do is enough. If I buy flowers, she complains they're cheap. If I work late, she says I'm neglecting her. If I come home early, she says I'm lazy. I can't win. My heart ached, but anger still burned from before. And yet you let her tell me I didn't belong. His face twisted with shame. I know. Do you? My voice was sharp. Because you broke me that night, Daniel. You broke your mother. He bowed his head. I'm sorry. Sorry. My voice cracked. You think one word can patch the hole in my heart? Do you know how it felt to sit there waiting for my son to defend me and hear nothing? He rubbed his temples. I was scared. Scared of what? Of losing her. His voice was barely a whisper. I stared at him. And what about losing me? His silence was answer enough. I leaned back, swallowing the lump in my throat. Do you even realize how blind you've been? He whispered, I see it now, Mom. Every day I see it. But I don't know how to escape. Escape. I scoffed. You call this marriage a cage and yet you keep locking the door yourself. He looked desperate. What am I supposed to do? Divorce her? Face her family's wrath? Mom, I'll be ruined. I shook my head. You're already ruined, Daniel. Just not in the way you think. He flinched. I sighed. Why are you here? Truly. He hesitated, then muttered, because you're the only one who's ever cared about me. And I threw you away. My chest tightened, torn between fury and tenderness. I whispered, do you know how many nights I stayed awake wondering what I did wrong as a mother? Wondering why my son chose silence over me. Tears welled in his eyes. You didn't do anything wrong. I did. I'm the coward. I'm the fool. I wanted to hold him, to wipe his tears like when he was a boy. But the wound was still fresh. I stayed still. Emily doesn't love me, he said suddenly. I froze. What? She loves the image. The status. The lifestyle. Not me. Never me. His voice cracked. And now even that is falling apart. Because of the debts? I asked. He nodded slowly. She blames me for everything. She says I embarrassed her by borrowing. She screams, throws things. Last night, she called me pathetic. I clenched my fist. Pathetic? She dares call you that after you bent yourself to please her? He whispered, I'm losing myself, Mom. I don't even know who I am anymore. I looked at him, my son, the boy I raised, the man now broken. My anger softened, but only slightly. I said quietly, you could have spared yourself all this if you'd listened to me. But instead you gave her your voice, your pride, and your future. He swallowed hard. I know. And I regret it every day. The room fell silent. The old clock ticked, filling the space between us. Finally, he whispered, Do you still love me, Mom? The question sliced me open. I closed my eyes. Love doesn't die, Daniel. But trust? Respect? Those can shatter. He buried his face in his hands. Then I've destroyed both. I whispered almost to myself, maybe. But sometimes, destruction is the only way truth comes out. He lifted his head, eyes red and wet. What do I do? I sighed. That's for you to decide. You can keep living in chains or you can break free. But don't expect me to carry them for you. His lips trembled. I'm sorry, Mom. I nodded slowly. Sorry is a start. But only a start. He stood shaky on his feet. I should go. I didn't move to stop him. At the door he turned. Thank you, for at least listening. I met his eyes. I'm your mother. Listening is all I can still afford to give. He left quietly. The door clicked shut, leaving me alone again. I sank into the couch, my chest aching. For the first time I didn't cry. I just sat there hollow, staring at the empty space where my son had been. I was watering the small potted plant by the window when the phone rang. I almost didn't answer. It was Emily's number. My stomach twisted. So I picked up. Hello. Her voice dripped with mock sweetness. Mother-in-law. How are you in that little house of yours? I stiffened. What do you want, Emily? She laughed softly. Straight to the point. Fine. I'll be direct too. Stay away from Daniel. My grip on the phone tightened. Stay away. He came to me. Well, don't let him again. Her voice hardened. He's mine. And I don't appreciate you filling his head with pathetic sob stories. I scoffed. Pathetic? I raised him. Fed him. Sacrificed everything for him. What exactly did you do besides poison his heart against me? She chuckled darkly. Sacrifices? Please. He told me how embarrassing you were at that dinner. Do you know what everyone thought? That Daniel married beneath him. I had to carry that shame. The words stung, but I bit back tears. The only shame in that room was the way you treated me. Wrong. Her voice sharpened. The shame was you sitting there in your cheap dress pretending you belonged. My parents couldn't stop whispering about how pitiful you looked. I trembled. Your cruelty has no limits, does it? It's not cruelty. It's truth. And truth is, Daniel deserves better than you meddling in his life. Better. I snapped. You're drowning him in debt, in misery, in humiliation. That's what you call better. She went silent for a beat, then laughed again. He told you, didn't he? About the money? I warned him not to, but he's weak. Just like you. Daniel is not weak, I shot back. He's broken because of you. No, she sneered. He's broken because he's stupid enough to think you matter. You don't. Not anymore. My voice trembled with rage. Emily, listen carefully. You may have his silence, but you'll never have his soul. That belongs to me. Her tone turned icy. Then watch how easily I destroy what's left of it. Before I could respond, she hung up. I stood frozen, the phone still in my hand. My knees shook and I sank into a chair, gasping for air. The venom in her words replayed in my head like knives slicing through me. A knock at the door startled me. I hurried to open it. Daniel stood there, his face pale. Mom, he whispered. I stepped back, pointing to the couch. Sit. He obeyed quietly, eyes darting around like a cornered child. I crossed my arms. Your wife just called me. His head snapped up. What? What did she say? I leaned forward, glaring. She told me to stay away from you. She said you're hers, not mine. And she mocked me. Again. He buried his face in his hands. God, no. Daniel. My voice broke. How long will you let her humiliate me? How long will you let her spit on the woman who gave you life? He looked up, desperate. I'm sorry. I didn't know she would. Don't you dare, I cut him off. Don't you dare make excuses for her. She has you chained and you're letting her tighten the lock. His voice cracked. What do you want me to do? I leaned closer. Stand up. Be a man. Defend your mother. Defend yourself. For once in your life, Daniel, stop bowing to her cruelty. Tears spilled down his cheeks. I can't. I slammed my hand against the table. You can. You just won't. He flinched, then whispered, she'll destroy me. She already has, I said coldly. He stared at me, broken. Mom, I don't know how to fight her. He has everything. The house. The money. The power. If I leave, I'll lose it all. My voice shook. Then lose it. Better to lose riches than lose your soul. He pressed his palms together, trembling. You don't understand. Oh, I understand, I hissed. I understand you value her wealth more than my love. I understand you'd rather suffocate in her golden cage than breathe freely with me. No, he cried. That's not true. Then prove it. I shouted. Prove you still have a spine, Daniel. Prove you still have a heart. He froze, staring at me like a child caught in a storm. Finally, he whispered, I don't know if I can. The silence after his words was unbearable. I turned away, wiping my tears. Do you even love her? I asked quietly. He hesitated. I don't know anymore. I faced him again. Then why stay? His shoulders sagged. Because I'm afraid. I shook my head slowly. Fear has already stolen everything from you, Daniel. And now it's stealing me too. He whispered, don't say that. I looked him dead in the eyes. If you keep choosing her silence over my dignity, then I am gone. Do you hear me? Gone. He paled. Mom, please. Choose, I said firmly. Her chains are my love. But you cannot have both. His lips trembled, but no words came out. I grabbed my shawl and walked to the door. When you find your courage, you know where I live. Until then, don't come here with excuses. I opened the door. He sat frozen, tears rolling silently. I waited, but he said nothing. So I walked out, leaving him behind in the quiet wreckage of his choices. The night was heavy with silence. I sat at my kitchen table staring at the chipped edges when the doorbell rang. My heart thudded. I already knew it was him. I opened the door. Daniel stood there, eyes swollen, suit wrinkled. Mom, he whispered, voice hoarse. I stepped aside. Come in. He shuffled inside, collapsing into a chair like a man twice his age. I folded my arms. What do you want this time? He rubbed his temples. To talk. Talk. I scoffed. That's all you ever do. Words. Promises. Nothing changes. He flinched. I know I've failed you. Failed me. My voice cracked. You betrayed me. Again and again. Do you know what it feels like to be mocked by your own son's wife while you sit silent? His hands trembled. I hate it. I hate myself for letting it happen. Then why let it? I demanded. He stared at the floor. Because every time I try to stand up, she threatens me. She says she'll destroy me, ruin my career, take everything. And you believe her? I spat. You let fear chain you. That's not love, Daniel. That's slavery. His eyes welled with tears. I don't know how to escape. I leaned forward. You don't escape by crawling. You escape by standing tall. He whispered, I'm not strong enough. I slammed my fist against the table. You are. You're my son. I didn't raise you to be this broken shell. His shoulders shook. Then why do I feel so empty? The question pierced me. I softened. Because you gave your heart to someone who crushes it daily. She feeds on your weakness. He covered his face. I thought marriage would save me. I thought she'd make me whole. Marriage doesn't fix emptiness, I said bitterly. It multiplies it if you choose wrong. He peeked through his fingers. I chose wrong, didn't I? I swallowed hard. Yes. But admitting it is the first step. He sighed heavily. If I leave her, I'll have nothing. You'll have me, I said firmly. He looked at me like a lost child. Is that enough? Tears burned my eyes. It should be. It always should have been. He reached across the table, gripping my hand. I'm sorry, Mom. I'm so sorry for hurting you. I squeezed back, trembling. Sorry doesn't heal scars. He nodded, voice breaking. I'll change. I promise. I pulled my hand away. You've promised before. His lips quivered. This time I mean it. I shook my head. Words are wind. I need proof. What do you want me to do? He begged. Stand against her. Just once. Show me you're still mine. His chest rose and fell rapidly. If I do, she'll. She'll what? I cut him off. She's already humiliating you. Already humiliating me. What more can she take? He whispered, I pride. I slammed the table again. You lost that long ago. He flinched like the words were daggers. Silence lingered, heavy and suffocating. Finally, he said, I'll talk to her. I shook my head. Talking isn't enough. You need action. His eyes filled again. I don't know if I can fight her. Then you'll lose me too, I said coldly. He froze. Mom. I stood, my voice trembling. I can't keep breaking for you, Daniel. I can't keep being your shadow while she spits on me. Either fight for me or let me go. He rose slowly, desperation in his face. Don't leave me. I already lost you once, I whispered. Don't make me lose you forever. He grabbed my hands again, gripping tightly. I swear I'll make it right. I'll protect you. I'll choose you. I stared into his eyes, searching for truth. Do you mean it? Yes, he breathed. His mom. I swear. I exhaled shakily, wanting to believe. Then prove it. His jaw tightened. I will. But even as he said it, doubt lingered in his trembling voice. I pulled my hands free. Go home, Daniel. Figure out who you are. When you're ready to show me, come back. He looked broken. Don't push me away. I'm not, I whispered. I'm giving you a choice. And choices define men. He stood there, shaking, then nodded slowly. I'll prove myself. I promise. I turned away, staring at the wall so I wouldn't see his tears. The door creaked as he left, his footsteps heavy against the floor. When silence returned, I whispered to myself, how many promises must shatter before truth stands? My heart ached, but deep inside I knew, the next time he broke me might be the last. The knock came just after midnight. My heart jolted. I opened the door to find Daniel standing there, soaked in rain, his eyes wild. Mom, he gasped, I can't take it anymore. I pulled him inside. What happened? He paced, dripping water onto the floor. Emily, she humiliated me again. At her parents' dinner table. She called me useless. Her father laughed. And I just sat there. I clenched my fist. And you let it happen? His voice cracked. What could I do? If I spoke up, she would have ruined me in front of everyone. She already ruined you, I said sharply. He stopped pacing, trembling. I can't live like this. I feel like I'm dying every day. Then leave her. He shook his head violently. I can't. She threatened to drag my name through the mud. She said she'd tell everyone I married her for money. That I'm nothing without her. I grabbed his shoulders. You are something. You're my son. Tears spilled down his face. Then why do I feel like nothing? My voice trembled. Because you keep giving her the power to define you. He collapsed into a chair, burying his face in his hands. I hate myself. I sat across from him. Daniel, listen to me. You are not weak. But every time you stay silent, you kill a piece of yourself. His voice was muffled. I don't know how to fight her. I slammed the table. You do. You just don't believe you can. He looked up, broken. Mom, I'm so tired. I softened. Then let me carry some of that weight. He shook his head. No. She'll come after you too. She already has, I said bitterly. Do you think her words haven't cut me? Do you think I don't bleed when you choose silence over me? His face twisted with guilt. I'm sorry. Sorry isn't enough, I whispered. I need you to stand. For me. For yourself. He slammed his fist on the table. I'm scared. And so am I. I shouted back. But fear won't save us. It will only bury us. The room went still. Our ragged breathing filled the silence. Finally, he whispered, I can't lose you, Mom. Then stop letting her push me away. His lips trembled. What if I confront her and she leaves me? Then let her leave, I said coldly. Better to lose her than lose yourself. He shook his head. You don't understand. She owns everything. The house, the accounts. Let it go. I snapped. None of that matters. What matters is your soul. He stared at me wide-eyed. How do I let go of everything? I leaned closer. By realizing you already lost more than money, you lost your dignity. Isn't that worth fighting for? His hands shook. I don't know if I can do it alone. You're not alone, I said softly. I'm right here. His chest heaved as if the weight of years pressed on him. If I confront her, what should I say? I locked eyes with him. Say the truth. That you're done being her puppet. That you won't let her insult me. That you won't let her insult you anymore. He swallowed hard. She'll scream. She'll twist everything. Let her, I said firmly. Truth doesn't need her permission. He trembled, then whispered, what if I fail? I reached for his hand. Then you fail trying. But at least you'll know you fought. He gripped my hand tightly as if drowning. I'm scared, Mom. I squeezed back. Courage isn't the absence of fear. It's moving despite it. His breath shuddered. I don't want to be weak anymore. Then stop being weak. Silence stretched. His jaw clenched. His eyes hardened for the first time in years. He stood suddenly. I'll do it. I rose too. Are you sure? Yes, he said, voice steadying. I'll confront her tonight. My heart pounded. Daniel. He shook his head. No more waiting. No more silence. She needs to hear me now. I hesitated, then whispered, then I'll stand with you. He looked at me surprised. You'd come. I've suffered in silence too, I said. It ends tonight. For a moment he looked like a boy again, hope flickering in his eyes. Mom, thank you. I nodded. Let's finish this. We walked into the storm together. Rain lashed against us, but for the first time, Daniel didn't shrink. His steps grew firmer, his shoulders straighter. As we neared his house, his hands trembled, but he didn't stop. Inside, Emily sat on the couch, sipping wine. She looked up, smirking. Well. The poor mother and her pathetic son. What a pair. Daniel froze. His lips parted, but no sound came. I whispered, Tao. He clenched his fists. Emily, enough. He blinked, amused. Enough. What's this? His voice grew louder. I won't let you humiliate me anymore. Or my mother. She laughed. You won't let me? You don't control anything here. He stepped closer. No. I do. And I'm done letting you treat us like garbage. Her smirk faltered. Excuse me. You heard me, he said firmly. You will not insult her again. You will not insult me again. If you do, we're done. Her eyes narrowed. Don't threaten me, Daniel. It's not a threat, he said. It's the truth. For the first time, Emily's smile faded. She stared at him, searching for weakness. But he stood tall. I watched, my heart swelling. My son was finally standing. Emily scoffed, turning her gaze on me. This is your doing, isn't it? You poisoned him. I stepped forward. No, Emily. You poisoned him. Tonight he finally spits it out. Her face twisted with rage. You'll regret this. Daniel shook his head. No. You will. Because for once I won't be silent. The room buzzed with tension. Emily's lips curled, but her eyes betrayed something I had never seen before: fear. And in that moment I knew, the breaking point had come. The silence after Daniel's words hung like a blade in the air. Emily's wine glass clinked sharply as she set it down, her eyes narrowing into daggers. You dare speak to me like that? She hissed. Daniel's hands trembled, but his voice didn't waver. Yes. I dare. Because I'm done being your puppet. Her laughter was sharp and cruel. You think you can live without me? Without my family? You'd be nothing. I stepped closer. He was something long before you. He'll be something long after. Emily glared at me. Stay out of this. No, I said firmly. This is my fight too. Daniel's chest rose and fell rapidly. Emily, I loved you. I gave you everything. But you gave me nothing but shame. Her lip curled. Shame? You should be grateful. Without me, you'd still be struggling in some dingy apartment. He took a deep breath. At least in that apartment I had peace. With you I have nothing but fear. Her eyes flashed. Don't you dare blame me for your weakness. I'm not weak, he shot back. I'm stronger without you than I ever was with you. I placed a hand on his arm. His body shook, but his voice grew firmer. Emily sneered. If you walk away, you'll regret it. I'll ruin you. I'll tell the world you're a parasite living off me. Daniel's jaw tightened. Say what you want. I'd rather be called a parasite than live as your prisoner. Her hand slammed the table. You ungrateful fool. He flinched but didn't back down. No. I'm finally grateful, to myself, for finding the courage to say no. Her chest heaved with fury. You'll crawl back. They all do. I cut in. Not this time. You broke him, Emily. But broken things can heal. And he's healing without you. She turned on me, venom in her eyes. You meddling old woman. You think you've won. I held her gaze. I don't need to win. Truth already has. Daniel stepped forward, his voice steady. This marriage is over. Her face drained of color. What did you say? You heard me, he said. It's over. I'm done. For the first time Emily faltered. Her lips parted but no words came. She searched his face for weakness but there was none left to find. Tears welled in her eyes but her voice stayed sharp. You'll regret this. Daniel shook his head. The only thing I regret is letting it go on this long. I whispered, that's my son. Emily's mask cracked. She grabbed her glass and hurled it against the wall, shards exploding across the floor. Fine. Leave. See if you survive without me. Daniel didn't move. I will survive. And I'll finally breathe. She pointed at me, trembling with rage. This is your fault. You turned him against me. I met her fury with calm. No, Emily. You did that yourself. Her chest heaved, her hands shaking. Get out. Both of you. Daniel straightened his shoulders. Gladly. We turned toward the door. But as we reached it, Emily's voice cracked behind us. Daniel. He stopped, his back still to her. What? Her tone wavered between fury and desperation. You'll come back. You always do. Slowly he turned his head, his eyes cold. Not this time. She staggered back as if his words were a physical blow. I opened the door and together we stepped into the storm. Rain drenched us instantly but neither of us cared. Daniel's breathing was heavy, almost ragged, but there was something new in his eyes. Relief. I touched his arm. You did it. His voice cracked. I did. You finally broke free. He nodded, tears mixing with the rain. I never thought I could. I smiled weakly. You could. You just needed to remember who you are. He stared into the night. What now? Now, I whispered, We rebuild. He closed his eyes, exhaling a long, shaky breath. I feel lighter. I squeezed his hand. That's the weight of her chains falling off. We walked slowly through the rain, step by step, each one carrying us farther from her grasp. But even as we moved forward, I knew Emily wouldn't let go easily. People like her never did. Still, tonight was a victory. Daniel whispered almost to himself, "She'll come after me." I nodded. She might. But this time you won't face her alone. His grip on my hand tightened. I don't deserve you, Mom. Yes, you do, I said firmly. You just forgot it for a while. We reached my door, dripping water onto the porch. Daniel looked at me, his face raw with exhaustion and hope. Will you forgive me? He asked quietly. I cupped his cheek. I already did. The moment you stood up for us. His voice broke. I thought I lost you. You almost did, I admitted. But tonight you found me again. He hugged me tightly, clinging like a child. I held him, letting years of pain pour out with the rain. For the first time in a long time I felt something fragile but real. Peace. Inside, as we dried ourselves, Daniel whispered again, "It's over." But deep down we both knew Emily wasn't finished. The war was ending, but the downfall had just begun. Hers, not ours. The days after Daniel walked out on Emily were strangely quiet, almost too quiet. For years her shadow had loomed over us like a storm cloud. Now the silence felt foreign, uneasy, like the pause before thunder. One evening, Daniel sat at my kitchen table, his head in his hands. The weight of exhaustion clung to him. She won't let this go, he muttered. I placed a cup of tea in front of him. She can't control what's already gone. He looked up, his eyes rimmed red. You don't know Emily like I do, Mom. She'll strike back. I met his gaze. Then let her. The truth has a way of doing what revenge cannot, destroying itself. He shook his head. She doesn't believe in truth. She believes in power. At that moment my phone buzzed. A message notification glared at me. Did you really think you could take him from me? Emily. I slid the phone toward Daniel. His hands clenched. She's losing it. I read the message aloud. That doesn't sound like power to me. That sounds like desperation. He exhaled heavily. You're right. But before I could answer, the doorbell rang. Daniel stiffened. She wouldn't. I motioned for him to stay put and opened the door. On the porch stood a delivery man, soaked from the drizzle. He handed me a small box. Package for Emily Carter. Wrong address. I frowned. Emily Carter? He nodded. Yes, ma'am. Says this was shipped here, but the name doesn't match. I glanced at the box. My stomach twisted. I'll take it. The man nodded and left. I shut the door, the package cold in my hands. Daniel eyed it. That's hers. Why would it come here? I set it on the table. Let's find out. He sliced the tape open with shaking hands. Inside were stacks of receipts, legal documents, and photos. His breath caught. Mom, these are hers. Financial papers. Loans. Bank accounts. Everything. I sifted through them. She must have ordered copies for herself, but they came here by mistake. His eyes widened as he skimmed one. She's drowning in debt. She's been hiding it all this time. A bitter laugh escaped me. The mighty Emily Carter, queen of appearances, built her empire on sand. Daniel sank back in his chair, rubbing his face. Karma. It's finally catching up. I nodded. And she doesn't even know we know. The following week, the cracks in her facade widened. Daniel's phone buzzed constantly with angry voicemails. You think you're free? Emily's voice snarled through one recording. You'll crawl back when the world sees what you really are. Daniel deleted it, his jaw tight. She's unraveling. But then one morning the news came to us in whispers. Emily's father's business, the very one she boasted about endlessly, had filed for bankruptcy. Years of shady deals and reckless spending had collapsed overnight. Daniel stared at the headline. Her whole family, ruined. I placed a hand over his. It was never built to last. He swallowed hard. She'll blame me. She already does, I said softly. But blame won't save her. That evening the storm finally hit. Emily showed up at my doorstep, mascara streaked down her cheeks, hair wild. For the first time she looked small. You did this, she screamed, pointing at me. Daniel rushed forward. Emily, calm down. Her voice cracked. Don't you tell me to calm down. My family is ruined. Everything's gone. And it's because you left me. Daniel's tone was sharp. No, Emily. It's because of your lies. Her chest heaved. You think you're better than me now? Sitting here with her, she jabbed a finger at me, pretending you're some saint. I stepped closer, steady. I don't need to pretend. Truth doesn't. She laughed bitterly, though it sounded more like a sob. Truth? What do you know about truth? I met her broken eyes. I know it always wins. And right now it's winning against you. Daniel's voice softened. Emily, you could have had everything if you chose love over power. But you chose wrong. Her face twisted with rage and pain. Don't you dare pity me. I don't, he said quietly. I mourn what you could have been. She collapsed against the railing, sobbing. You ruined me, Daniel. You both ruined me. I felt a pang of something unexpected, not victory but sorrow. For beneath the venom, Emily was just a woman crumbling under her own sins. I whispered, no one ruins themselves quite like those who build their lives on cruelty. She glared at me through her tears. This isn't over. Daniel sighed. It already is. She staggered to her feet, stormed off into the night and didn't look back. We stood in silence. Rain tapped the windows. The house felt heavier yet lighter. Daniel finally spoke. Do you think she'll recover? I shook my head. Not until she learns humility. And people like her rarely do. His voice cracked. I almost stayed with her forever. I touched his arm. But you didn't. And that's why you're free. He nodded slowly, tears welling. Karma's hand, it finally touched her. Yes, I said softly. And it reminded us that no mask survives forever. We sat in silence, listening to the rain, knowing Emily's empire had crumbled. And though storms still lingered, we felt the first rays of dawn breaking through. The days after Emily's stormy visit were strange. For the first time in years, my house felt quiet, as if the air itself had shed a heavy weight. Yet silence has a way of amplifying thoughts, and mine wouldn't rest. Daniel sat across from me one morning, coffee untouched. His eyes looked lighter, though shadows still lingered. He broke the silence. Do you think I'll ever stop hearing her voice? I smiled gently. Voices fade, Daniel. They only echo when we keep feeding them. He leaned back, sighing. I keep replaying every moment I failed you. That dinner, when she told you to leave. I said nothing. I reached across the table, covering his hand. And yet here you are. Regret isn't weakness, Daniel. It's proof you've grown. His eyes watered. I don't deserve your forgiveness. You don't need to, I whispered. Because I already gave it. He blinked, silent. The doorbell rang, sharp against the quiet. We exchanged looks before he rose to answer. A delivery man stood with a small envelope. For Mrs. Carter, he said, handing it over. Daniel frowned. Emily. I hesitated, then opened it. Inside was a single note. I lost everything. Are you happy now? Daniel cursed under his breath. She still doesn't get it. I folded the note, setting it aside. She will. Someday. Karma isn't finished with her. He shook his head. I don't know whether to pity her or hate her. Neither, I said softly. Just let her go. He sank back into his chair, staring at the floor. It's hard. I nodded. Freedom always is. For a moment, silence settled again. Then he looked up. What about you, Mom? After everything, do you feel free? The question stilled me. I thought of the humiliation, the loneliness, the tears that had soaked my pillow when no one was watching. I thought of the night Emily's words cut me in front of strangers, and the way my son's silence pierced even deeper. But I also thought of now, of his eyes searching mine, no longer blind. Yes, I said finally. I do. His shoulders eased as if my answer lifted him too. Later that evening we sat in the living room, firelight flickering against the walls. Daniel stared into the flames. You ever wonder why life breaks us so hard? He asked. All the time, I admitted. But maybe it's so we can rebuild stronger. He chuckled bitterly. Rebuild from ashes, huh? I smiled faintly. Phoenixes do. He looked at me, eyes shining with something I hadn't seen in years. Hope. Mom, he whispered, Thank you for not giving up on me. Tears blurred my vision. I almost did. But love, it doesn't let go that easily. He leaned forward, resting his forehead against my hand like a child again. I'll spend the rest of my life making it up to you. You don't have to, I said softly. Just live differently. We sat there, two souls scarred but not broken, warmed by a fire that felt symbolic of something greater. The ashes of betrayal lay behind us, but in their place, something new was stirring. Not revenge. Not triumph. But quiet rebirth. And for the first time in a long, long while, I believed in tomorrow.